Hi there guys, and welcome to today's lesson. In this lesson we're going to be identifying multiples of 3, 6 and 12. But first of all, can you write today's date, underline it, and then write the icon underneath it. Pause the video here whilst you do this. Once you've done that, let's have a look at the warm-up. When we're adding to make 1, if you have hundredths like shown below, the hundredths must add or total 100. For example, 0.20 add 0.80 equals 1, because 20 add 80 makes 100. So use your number bonds to 100 to help you to solve these 5 in the warm-up. Don't forget to put the 0 point in front. Pause the video here whilst you solve this. Okay, let's have a look at the answers then. So 0.70 add something equals 1, that would be 0.30, and that's because 70 add 30 makes 100. Number 2, 0.55, because 55 add 45 makes 100. Number 3, number 4, and number 5. Check what you've done. Make any corrections that you might need to. Let's have a look at our keys to success for this lesson. To begin with, it's really important that we write out our 3s, our 6s and our 12s. So first thing I want you to do is I'd like you to write down your 3 times table, your 6 times table and then your 12 times table. Pause the video here whilst you do this. Once we've got those written out, we can use those to help us to solve any of the questions that are already given to us. We can do this by counting the number of multiples and then circling or underlining the answers. So your multiples should look like this. If you need to pause the video to check to see what you've done, you can do so. Okay then, let's have a look at an example. An example says, what is the 7th multiple of 3? Well, if I follow the keys to success, step 1 says to make sure that we've got the 3 times table written out, which we have already done, just like so. Now, because it says the 7th multiple of 3, that's the same as 7 multiplied by 3, the 7th multiple of 3. So I'm going to count down my multiples until I get to the 7th number in the 3 times table. That would be 21. So the 7th multiple of 3 is 21, because 7 times 3 is 21. Let's have a look at another example. Something is the 9th multiple of 6. So first of all, making sure I've got my 6 times table written down like so, which we already have done. Then I'm going to count down the multiples until I get to the 9th multiple. That should be the same as 9 times 6. Once I've counted down the multiples until I get to the 9th one, I should get 54. And 9 times 6 is 54. So therefore the 9th multiple of 6 is 54. The multiples of 12 are a word beginning with E numbers. So if you look at the multiples of 12, what sort of numbers are they? Can you think of a word to describe them that begins with the letter E? Well, if we look at the multiples of 12, they all end in either 2, 4, 6, 8 or 0. That means that all of the multiples of 12 are even. That's the same as the multiples of 6. So if they're multiples of 6 or 12, they must be even. However, if they're the multiples of 3, they follow a bit of a pattern. They go odd, even, odd, even, odd, even, and so on. And that's because the 3 times table belongs to an odd number, which is the number 3. So let's have a look at the fluency. Pause the video here whilst you solve these. Number 1 says, what is the sixth multiple of 3 and 6? So you're looking for 2 answers. Number 2 says, what is the third multiple of 6 and 12? So you're looking for 2 answers again. Number 3 says, what are the multiples of 6 and 12? So you're looking for the common multiples. So which multiples are in the 6 and the 12 times table? The multiples of 3 are a word that begins with O numbers, and then a word that begins with an E. So what pattern does the 3 times table follow? And then finally, number 5 says, what is the 10th multiple of 3, 6 and 12? So you're looking for 3 answers there. Pause the video here whilst you solve the fluency. Let's have a look at the answers. So the sixth multiple of 3 and 6 is 18 and 36. Notice that the multiples of 6 is double the multiple of 3. What is the third multiple of 6 and 12? The third multiple of 6 is 18 and the third multiple of 12 is 36. All of the multiples of 6 and 12 are, well, they are all of the multiples of 12, because the 12 times table is double the 6. So 12 is in the 12s and the 6s, and so is 24, 36, 48, 60 and 72. You could have gone even further than that if you wanted to. Number 4 says the multiples of 3 are odd numbers, and then they are even numbers, because remember they follow the pattern of odd, even, odd, even. And then finally, number 5, the 10th multiple of 3, 6 and 12 is 30, 60 and 120. Let's have a look at some of the problem solving that you're going to come across when you log on to maths.co.uk. Which of these multiples are not multiples of 6? So I really should have said which of these numbers are not multiples of 6. So they're not in the 6 times table. Well, if I've got the 6 times table written down, I can use that to spot all of the numbers that are not in the 6s. So I'm going to circle all the numbers that I can see that are not in the 6 times table. So that would be 8, 10, 14, 16, 22, 26, 28 and 32. I should have also circled 20 there. Now let's have a look at which of these numbers that are shown here above that are multiples of 6 and the ones that are not multiples of 6. So I need to organise those into the correct table. So all of the ones that are in the 6 times table should go to the left, and all of the ones that are not in the 6 times table should go to the right. I can use my 6 times table to help me to do this. Pause the video here and solve this problem solving question. So you would have had 6, 12 and 18 that should have gone in the left column because they are multiples of 6. Whereas all of the other numbers are not multiples of 6. Now log on to maths.co.uk and solve the questions that have been set for you. Pause the video here whilst you do this. Now let's have a look at what we're going to be solving tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be doing factors. Factors are numbers that multiply together in order to make a multiple. They usually come in pairs. For example, to make the multiple 15, we would use the factor pairs of 3 and 5, because 3 times 5 makes 15. Another factor pair might be 1 and 15, because 1 times 15 makes 15. This is something that we'll be doing tomorrow. Until then, see you at the check-ins